Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Let's stand for the pledge. All right, let's bow our heads for a prayer. Lord, we thank you for your blessings today. We thank you for this great nation that you've allowed us to live in, to be a part of. We ask you that you'll direct our proceedings tonight. Help us that we can make sound decisions. We ask you to bless this nation, bless our county. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, we call the meeting to order. All the magistrates is here. Need approval for the meeting minutes from the February 17th meeting. Motion by Kevin, second by Carl. All in favor? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Move on to the new business. Roads. Zach has had a family emergency he had to go to, but they've been very busy. The ones that don't know, the bridge down on Bullet Hill, it washed out again, so we've had to shut it down completely. The bridge inspectors come and looked at it, but they're giving us, they'll get back with us on what we have to do with it. We've talked trying to get it replaced. FEMA wanted us to get it replaced a year ago, but then they just keep coming back with different numbers and different questions. The cost to replace that bridge $315,000, and FEMA seemed to think we should be able to get it done for $90,000. Well, most of the local contractors won't tear the old bridge out for $90,000, so it's kind of a messed up deal. So we're trying to there's another program we can get the bridge replaced with. The applications for it come out on May the 2nd, second week of May, I'm sorry. So we're putting in for that. Hopefully we can get that open back up. If after the inspector looks at it, if we can maybe get a concrete truck in there and get some concrete on and get it filled back up, maybe we can put a low load limit on it, 3 ton or whatever, so people can still cross it in the case of emergency or that kind of thing. Just try to keep the trucks off of it. So that's what we've been dealing with. They've already started bushwhacking. Brad may have all this stuff. If you want to go ahead, Brad, and just kind of give you a committee report.
We met last night. The bushwhackers going good. They're out in the Port Royal area right now. All the equipment, we have excavator, the cylinder's messed up on it. I think Zach said it was supposed to come in today or tomorrow. And they got the other tractor, I guess, back from Kyle. And they're working on grading all the gravel roads, which seems like we can't catch a break. At the time we started getting them in good shape, it comes another flood, but he got a new cutting bar for the grader and getting it on, so they're going to try to get over all the roads and gravel them, and got a lot of ditching needs done. And getting ready to start getting all the bush hogs ready for the mowing season. But we had a special guest, our guest from Rogers area last night. Very nice guy. He was really complimenting the road department. Mike Tomlin is his name. He had never been to one before. He was planning on coming to Fiscal Court tonight, but he can't make it. He had something else to do. But so all in all, everything's going good. Just everybody's got to be patient.
Yes, that cylinder should be in either this afternoon or in the morning. So hopefully we can get that put on. It won't take long to put it on once we get that cylinder. But that's another one of those things. $2,700 for that cylinder, and on place I talked to Danny Clark. He couldn't find one anywhere but at CAT, and so $2,700, you just got to spend it. Even when you wished you couldn't or didn't have to, but that's just part of it. But at least we can get the cylinder, get it back going. Any questions or comments? All right, we'll move on. We need to go into closed session for property discussion and opioid litigation, so I need a motion to go into close. Motion by Danny, second by Brad. All in favor? All right, so we won't be long in this, and we'll be back in here. Okay, I need a motion to go back into session. All right, motion by Danny, second by Brad. All in favor? All right, thank y'all for your patience. We made a couple of decisions, so I'll let Cassidy speak on it first as far as what we need to talk about. Get that mic.
Hey, Karen. For purposes of the record, the fiscal court went into closed session under Chapter 61.815. Subjects to be discussed in closed session were real estate acquisition and or transfer, as well as pending litigation.
All right, now if I can get a motion on our discussion. Either.
This is property, right? I move that we give Scott the authority to negotiate the purchase of this property in question. Sale of property. Yes.
All right, motion by Danny, second by Kevin. All in favor? All right, what do I need to explain this, Cassidy? What this is a cul-de-sac off a Wolf Pen that has had a gate across it for years and years. And there's a lady that owns 3 lots around that cul-de-sac, and she's wanting to buy that cul-de-sac because somebody has built a building on part of the county's property, and that's one reason you think we don't need planning and zoning, but that's one reason we need planning and zoning, so we make sure that people don't build a house on the property line. So she's built that on the property line, and it's a piece of property that we would never use, just not even as big as this room. So that's what we was in closed session for, or sell that property. All right. Now, somebody want to make a motion on the.
Turn your mic on.
I'll make a motion. I'll move that Henry County participate in the remnant defendants settlement agreement, which will allow all for the county to receive good opioids abatement funds from companies involved with the national settlement, and allow Judge Bates to sign on behalf of our county.
All right, we got a motion, second by Danny. All in favor? All right. We'll hand that mic back.
Probably has more information than I do on that. They've sent all the packet to her, but I'm happy to.
We just received notice that there are an additional 6 opioid defendants that settled on February 23rd. This settlement nationally totals $97,625,000, and it is recommended that we participate in that, as we have the other settlements. These things are being piecemealed out, so it's one settlement after the other because they're all in different legal jurisdictions. So this one just will be administered with the same formula that all the others have been, and it's called the 6 Remnant Defendants Settlement. So I don't know when we'll get to the end of the companies that are falling under this, but just another case.
And what that does is just gives me the authority to sign. If we don't participate in it, then we don't get the money. If we participate in it, then we do get the money. So I feel that we probably should always participate when it's available there. Okay, we'll move on to the next thing, planning and zoning and solid waste. Jason? Do we have?
So last month we did 26 electrical permits, 25 building permits. The next Board of Adjustments meeting will be March 23rd, which is a Monday at 6 p.m. in this building. And we don't have anything on the agenda for planning and zoning at this time. So.
All right. Any questions for Jason?
I have one. Did the cities adopt the comprehensive plan?
So the goals and objectives, they're doing their second readings. The last second reading should be done in the 1st of April. So we're still waiting on them because they have to do a first reading, second reading, and all that.
Okay.
So I think everybody's done the first reading, but they're working on the second.
And also the status on the comprehensive map.
I was instructed by the Planning and Zoning Commission that they wanted the goals and objectives before we finished that map for the Pendleton area. So I'm waiting on that to get done, and then we'll start on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. We'll move on. Thank you, Jason. Okay. Parks and Fairgrounds. Toby?
Youth league baseball and soccer has started, so we're busy unwinterizing everything, trying to get the fields worked up, the bathrooms opened, so they can have practices. Also, we started our small engine classes. Tomorrow will be our second week in that, and we'll get all our equipment serviced. We got 12 kids in the class this year, so we would be ready to cut grass after that.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for Toby? All right. Thank you, Toby. Next on the agenda is a full-time recommendation, and Zane Bates, he's not here, but he worked part-time for us last summer. Daniel, he resigned, so we would like to hire Zane Bates full-time to put in as Toby's help at the park. So I would like a motion to hire him. Motion by Brad, second by Carl. All in favor? All right, we'll put him on full time. All right, thank you. Okay, next I've asked JR. They've done a whole lot of, JR Chisholm, they've done a whole lot of upgrades to the park and different things they've done. They've made a mess of the park this winter. So I told them, I said, please be patient with us, try to get all the mud and all that straightened out. But just to kind of give you an update of what all Little League has really done for the park, just I thought I'd ask him to come just talk a minute.
Thank you, Judge Bates. I came to the fiscal court in 2021 when I took over the Little League with a list of projects after going to the park and doing some assessments. And we've done a really good job. It's taken us some time to raise the money, but we've done a good job in the last 5 years of completing most of those projects to the end. That includes, we've got new dirt on all 4 fields so that they drain. We have drainage and dirt so that all the fields drain quickly. We've completed 3 block dugouts now after this last season. The fence is going back up next week, or they came today to look at it. They're going to put the fence back up to finish that part of the project today, starting today. And all these things were done to make the fields more accessible all the time so that we didn't have much downtime, because the park's been growing. In 2021, the first year back from COVID, we had 350 kids playing Little League, and then last year we had 520. So, we've grown it 170 kids in that short time. And it's not just the kids that come out and play. We've got 8 church league teams that play when we're not playing. There's a men's team that uses the park. There's 4 middle schools that are now come out and go after school, so they practice until we come out. So, early March to the end of October, the Harry Hill Park's used pretty much every day, all day. There's when you go up there for a game, there's nowhere to park. Parking's an issue, which is a good problem, but parking's an issue, and there's hundreds of people coming up and watching these kids play. And we're just proud of the work we've done to raise the money over these 5 years to work on these projects. Going forward, we're still looking to maybe add lights to the 2 fields that don't have lights now. We're looking to do some concession updates because the building's kind of getting old and I don't want to say falling apart, but there's parts that are falling off. Toby and them fix it every time something happens, but it's patchwork at this point for the concessions. And then we'd also talked about, as a board, our board talked about eventually trying to get the money to do an indoor building or somewhere where we can practice indoors and have maybe a batting cage or something inside for the days it rains. So again, we're just proud of the work we've put in. There's a board right now of 15 people. It rotates, people come and go, but I'll be there as long as I can be, as long as they'll have me to keep working on these projects and making the park better. So I just want to come give an update because it's been 5 years, and that's about how long it took us to finish the first phase of these projects that I put out when Judge Brent was here. So any questions for me? I'm here.
Any questions for JR? I would just like to say thank you to the Little League and all that you have done at the park. It's like a partnership, and I appreciate it. And I've talked to Kipta. There is a grant coming up we got a good chance of maybe getting a grant to do the new restrooms and new concession stand. They suggested doing the whole thing. We had talked about maybe just building restrooms and try to redo the concession stand, but they're suggesting to try to go ahead and do the whole thing. And that opens up in August, isn't it, Travis? I think it's August, so we're going to put in for that. I think that's a good thing. And, I go out there when the kids is out there, and like JR said, you can't find a place to park, especially if you're the second game, because the first game's still there, all those parents. And I mean, I talked to Larry Bryant the other day at the Farm City Day, and he's talking about when his grandkids is playing, most time there's 4 generations out there. And mine's the same way. I know Denise and Harry, they go with their grandkids, and so there are just a lot of families that does affect, and I appreciate everything you all do. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to Animal Services. Danielle.
We have, sorry, I know my voice is a little bit lighter than normal. We brought in a grand total of $32.35 for the month of February of adoptions, donations, and as well as a couple of other things. We currently have 36 dogs at our facility. We had 33 come in last month, only 16 out. 6 of those were adoptions, 2 to rescue, and 8 were order returns. We do have a couple of different events coming up in March. Well, in April, we do have the 12th annual Paul's United Pet Expo in Radcliffe that we got invited to. On May 9th, we have the Lou Adopt, as well as the 2nd annual car show in Eminence on May 16th. So, oh, sorry, it's going to be here. Keeps changing on me, my brain. So we are very excited about all these events, and hopefully we can get some more dogs out, and please claim your dogs if they come to our shelter.
Any questions or comments to Danielle? All right, thank you, ma'am. Okay, next sheriff's report, Keith.
All right, we responded to 128 calls from KSB Dispatch, 147 calls to the Sheriff's Office, had 39 citation or criminal summons, 24 criminal arrests, 17 warrant arrests, served 79 court papers, had one fugitive transport, one MIW transport, had 2 special details, 60 vehicle inspections, 13 carry concealed license, and 1 DUI arrest.
All right. Any questions for Keith? All right. Thank you.
Hey, I'd just like to add too on the opioid abatement to let the folks in the audience know, and I want to thank you all for participating in that. That's the reason why the North Central Kentucky Narcotics Task Force finally came to. I mean, without that, these counties wouldn't have had that money. These pharmaceutical companies, their products helped create the problem. I see it only right there to help pay to fix it. So it's going to be a good thing. And without that, I don't think it would have ever happened. So thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, ABC quarterly report. Ed?
Second quarter fees and reports have all been filed. We now have 17 active businesses selling alcohol in the county. The new package store in Pleasureville's coming along well. And total revenue received from alcohol sales to date is $1,051,925.37. Any questions? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ed. Okay, now we have a first reading of our jail budget. Everybody's got a copy in front of them, I think, of the comparisons. The big increase, if you can look at medical, we've had to raise it from 20,000 to 75,000. And the reason is we got one person that's got cancer, and the treatments is just astronomical. We had a $16,000 bill from them this month. Of course, you can see we only had 20,000 in there because that's always been enough. Since I've been in here, that's been enough to cover. This time it's not even close. And then the contracts with other counties, we left that at 350,000, but we are taking 75,000 total out of the LGEA fund to make this work, because we're going to be up around 400,000 or a little better by the end of the year, by the end of the fiscal year. So we had to take some money from somewhere. So that's what our budget is right now. And then what we usually do is pass this, and then we'll have another meeting to just approve the second reading. And if you have any questions or want to do anything different, Carl?
House Bill 577 for people's support. Call our representatives.
557.
Would you like to explain it? We got a nice crowd. Tell them what it costs us.
Yes. The House Bill 557 is a bill that they've proposed, that they're trying to get more of the funding back to the counties, because these inmates are locked up for the issues with the state. That's whose laws they're breaking. But the minute they walk through the door at the jail, they're our inmates. We have to pay for everything for them. Their daily keep and, like I say, medical, dental, anything. We got it covered. Even if they got insurance, Medicaid, anything, it takes them off of that and puts them straight on the county's bill. Well, some of these people stay in Oldham County Jail for sometimes 3 years or longer on our dime, and then the court will finally convict them, and they give them time served, that 3 years that the county's been paid for, but the county don't get reimbursed for that. So this bill will allow the counties, once they've been in there for 60 days, we can get reimbursed for their their keep. And so it don't matter if it's a closed county jail or open county jail, it's going to benefit all the counties. So please, which we've all talked to our legislators, but I called Felicia the other day and she was going to talk to the signer of the bill and make sure she could get on board with it. But please call them and let them know that they need to be for House Bill 557 because it'll be a big help to our jail budget. Okay, next, excuse me, we have to, this is,
The budget.
oh, I thought we did the motion. Okay, I was thinking we already did it. You gonna make a motion, Danny?
Yes, sir. I'll
Okay.
make a motion that we approve the budget.
Second by Brad, all in favor? All right, motion carries. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed that. Next we move on to jailer salary. On election year, you have to set the jailer salary when you have a closed county jail. And I don't understand why anybody would do this, but sometimes a judge or somebody would have something against the new jailer coming in and they would drop his pay way down. Well, that's the last thing we want to do is something like that. But anyway, the jailer salary for this year, for 2027, this is going off of what we're doing now and then 3%, the way it usually goes up by 3%, will be $62,977.72. So if I could get somebody to make a motion just to say that that's what the salary is going to be, it's just a legality to make sure we don't cut his salary. If you get elected, Brandon, we don't cut you down to 40. Okay, motion by Ed, second by Carl, all in favor? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next, Jessica Moore with PETA. She's just going to give us a little update about what's going on with economic development.
I don't think I've been here in a minute, but that doesn't mean that we're not busy. I have a couple of updates to share with you and things we have going on and things we have done since the last time I was here. But it's easy to say that in every county that we cover, we have a project and an initiative happening currently. So there's no shortage of work to be done, and we continue to kind of hit those things head on and see where we can help. I think last time I was here, I mentioned that we had the plans to work with our EPA and KIPTA on the Board of Education project and the Newcastle revitalization. I'm sure you guys know KIPTA may have been here, but we were able to file that grant. It's up to $1 million for revitalization assessments and planning in Newcastle. So if that happens, then we can look at, there are several properties on the list, but one of those being the Board of Education building and how we can kind of revitalize that to be a part of our community. We also are working on a private stakeholder group, and that's something that KETA felt was really important in our region. You know, we are publicly funded currently with all of our counties, and we think that's really important. So we keep the public foundation and the governance of our counties telling us what to do and where our attention should be. But we also found it really crucial to make sure that our private businesses had some buy-in and that their leaders were coming to the table and that they were getting engaged and kind of helping us to figure out what we need from them as we work up and down the corridor. Since we started that, we've had people like LG&E sign on, Shelby Energy, East and Westbrook, Res, and others who have come to the table. Our first meeting for that is going to be on March 24th. So we're going to bring all those leaders together on the months that our judges don't meet and kind of talk about what we have happening in the corridor and how they can help us, move things along. So we're really excited about that momentum. I'm also working currently with the Cabinet of Economic Development for an industry spotlight tour that we're going to do up and down the region in all the counties. So we're going to look for businesses of all shapes and sizes. We're going to go in, we're going to let them use their communications teams and their marketing teams to take pictures and create B-reel and make sure there's a good marketing story that our companies in each of our counties can go and use those in their social media and however they want to kind of put those out there so that people know what businesses we have in our counties and what they're doing. So we're really excited about that and working with them. We also have some workforce conversations happening. I think recently there's been kind of an uptick in us talking about lineman certifications and CDL certifications and how we bring that into our communities through JCTC and get that in front of our students as an option. So we're working to facilitate those conversations. Also some housing conversations. We're bringing residential experts from outside of the region into our counties and really talking about what makes sense in each of the counties and what doesn't. We want to hear from our people, we want to hear from you and kind of figure out, something that makes sense in Oldham County doesn't make sense in Henry County, and something that makes sense in Henry County might not make sense in Oldham County, but we're going to figure out what does and how we can kind of bring those developers and those brokers to the table to work with our people to make sure that we're creating housing that our counties want to see. What else we got? We got landowners every single week reaching out to Kita. Our judges are helping us facilitate those conversations. People who are interested in selling their property kind of just want to know what their options are. So we're having those conversations all the time. In late 2026, we're going to release our Leadership 71 program. So that's a program our counties currently do, usually through the Chambers of Commerce. And so the regional program will be something that our leaders, our elected officials, our business leaders, and people who kind of want to just know the nuts and bolts of what's happening within our region, they can come and go through our process and kind of take that next step to figure out what's happening regionally. We also spent the day with our McConnell field reps from Northern Kentucky and from Louisville. We met with our judges, we met with business leaders, and we really just made sure that they had a really good, nice grip of what was happening here, kind of where we can use their help in earmarking some dollars and other things like that, letting them kind of see what our business, what their real struggles were. So that was a really good day that we spent. Since we were here last, we also have done letters of support for the Northern Kentucky Ag District for a build grant, Carroll County Memorial Hospital for an equipment grant, another NCAD grant for federal $1 for transportation for both south and northbound, continuing that process on 71. And then we're kind of, our toes are down with grant writing too. We've got $300,000 ambulance grant happening in our counties. We've got another $50,000 in county park infrastructure improvements happening in the counties. And then I'm helping the Gallatin County Regional Airport and their KPDI facilitation of those infrastructure improvement dollars as well. So a lot of words, but there's a lot of work happening. Just because they don't come and tell you about a new project happening every day or every month doesn't mean that we're not getting things done. I know the judge and I talk a lot, but if there's any questions you guys have or anything you need from me, I'm always here, always willing to pick up the phone. Any questions?
Anybody got any questions for Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah. The money that'll be, if it's earmarked for revitalization of Newcastle, will that be a public-private partnership?
It would probably look
So like if people have bought buildings and would like help revitalizing the buildings, will they have access to any of this money?
Yeah, so potential there. Currently, the first stage is assessments and planning. So just to see if we even qualify, that EPA amount is federal, so it's very competitive to be picked for that. But yes, we do imagine that being a public-private partnership and kind of figuring out how we make the most of that money if we were able to get it. Anything else?
All right. Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next on the agenda is our fiscal court meeting for May. It's supposed to be on election day, and I know a lot of you guys have got primaries, so we felt that it would probably be better to move it to May the 18th instead of the 19th. That's on the Monday night before. Would that work for everybody? What we'll do is have it in the small side because Shanda will be sitting up on this side for election for Tuesday. So I just thought it may be better for everybody than trying to figure out whether you won or you lost and all that right here during the meeting. I thought it'd be better. Does that okay with everybody? We just thought if we go ahead and get it on the calendar now, we're giving people plenty of time. Everybody good with that? You think we need it? Yeah, we, just as long as we got the consensus, that's all we need for that. So that's what Joe, we'll need to get that in the paper, that we're gonna change it from the 19th to the 18th.
Also, that
Yes, sir, so you might not make it, but we got a video you can watch that, Joe. No, and you take tonight, I mean, Eminence School Board meets on the same night as Fiscal Court. That's just so many meetings. It's just that way. That's like the ambulance taxing district. They meet at 5 on the Monday night before, so it might kind of crowd y'all a little bit, but we can make do. But okay, we'll plan on doing that then, May the 18th at 6 o'clock on the small side. Okay, now we move on to claims and transfers. Okay, motion by Kevin, second by Carl. All in favor? All right, motion carries. Okay, we move on to public comments. We say 3 minutes per speaker. Anybody in the public have anything you'd like to say? Just push that button on that mic if you don't mind. There you go.
So, my name is Rhonda Hodges. I live on Little Dixie Road. You guys have probably seen a few things on Facebook lately. A lot of us out there in Henry County area, Franklin County areas, have been trying to get water. I've been working on this myself for 3 years with Eric Wisman over in Franklin County. Whew, y'all excuse me, I've had a cold. So I've done a little research. Henry County back in 1999, there were 10% of folks in this county that did not have water or access to it. 2020, 10% of Henry County still did not have access to county water. This is 2026. We have been fighting this. We've got folks down our road that are clearing. Daniel Prather's been working really hard clearing the sides of the road. We've got estimates from Shelby County Water to get water in all of Flat Creek. And Flat Creek, if you do not get the water down Flat Creek before that bridge is in, it's very likely they won't get water at all. We had a 74-year-old woman during the snowstorms that went without water for 3 weeks. Luckily, she stopped, put a note in my door. I was able to help her out. But this is a problem. This is 2026, and there's really no reason that we should be without, or anyone should be without water. I've kind of looked at y'all's budget. I see the county clerk's getting $5.8 million. Sheriff's office getting about $1 million. I've been kind of listening tonight to see kind of where this structure's going. From what I've seen from the budget, what you guys are actually aiming towards in the infrastructure portion is just parks and road maintenance, which we desperately need the road maintenance. But when you have folks that are going without the common basic need of water, drinkable water, that's a problem. And I would like to ask you guys to please, I know there's been grants that we've been checking into. We've done a lot of research on this right now. There are no grants. I know both yourself, Judge Bates, and Judge Mueller in Franklin County were approached at a conference in January about doing a 1% loan to get the water to these areas. And that was pretty much declined.
Who said that they approached me?
Eric Wisman.
I'm sorry, but
he said he
talked
spoke
about
to
1% loan, but you was there, wasn't you?
Sure.
I'm working on this since I was elected 3.5 years ago. We've not stopped, me and Scott both. It's approved through KIPTA. They got get the money for a grant. And they combined Black Creek with Little Dixie.
Right.
The deal.
Right.
So I've called probably 5 times in the last 2 weeks talking to my reps in Frankfurt.
I just spoke to Aaron Reed today, and he said it's on the top 3. But as of right now, water is not in any, there's no grants out there for water.
We're still under fingers crossed that something's going to pop up during this session, but haven't stopped. Scott's been along the side. I mean, we've been following through conference calls, and
well, I did try to get a hold of magistrates before I started working with Eric, and I couldn't get anybody in Henry County to call me back. I talked to you at an auction one time.
Yeah. No, I talked to the magistrate in Franklin County at the conference, but This is about what we talked about, but.
And another thing, on the water, Henry County Fiscal Court has nothing to do with Henry County Water District. They got their own board. They get no tax dollars from us whatsoever. That's all completely separate from Henry County Fiscal Court.
So you all do not play a part in helping anyone to get the grant money or anything like that?
We try to get the grants to go through fiscal court, and we're working on it. I talked to Justin Carter at KIPTA today, and JR, he works at KIPTA. He knows how long we've been working on this. But as far as us being able to tell Henry County Water, go down and lay a water line,
it won't be Henry County. They won't do it. It's going to be North Shelby and have bids right here. That's what I'm saying, though. We don't have the authority to tell anybody to go lay the water line. That's completely up to them. In North Shelby, Pete Hodges come to me about this. Brad kind of got it all started, and we did sign up to try to get the grant to get that. It's a whole lot cheaper for Old Flat Creek to come. We can't go down LeCompte's bottom from our direction because it's too much rock. The other way, it's not near as much rock to have to go through. So that's the reason we're coming in from the North Shelby side. And same thing even on Little Dixie. It'd be a whole lot easier to come from 421 than it would be to come from Woods Pike to go to Little Dixie. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's why we've been working with North Shelby. I mean, do y'all know what the bids are for North Shelby to do that?
I don't. It's all in there.
I'll be glad to send them to you because I've got them right here with me. It's $2.2 million to do both Flat Creek. Little Dixie, Flat Creek's 1.3, Little Dixie's 223,000. The rest of what I have is Franklin County from Eric because he's been working with all of them. So I have the actual bids to do the physical work.
Well, I got it on my desk. Justin Carter sent it to me, but I didn't have it with me, so.
Yeah, Jeremy Carmack is who's in charge out there, and he's the one that I've been working with at North Shelby. Pete actually runs things. We had to fight with North Shelby just to get that pumping station in. They almost lost their money for that if it wasn't for me and Eric pushing the heck out of them to get that done. So just would like to ask for some help about getting this done, trying to find some grant monies for this, or possibly consider that loan.
Well, I will tell you the loan, Roger would like to get us to get a loan for sewer in Pendleton too, but the loan, it's not fair for everybody else in the county to pay for a loan for somebody else because the other people paid for their water. So the loan is hard to.
So my question there is, I paid $4,000 in property taxes this year, which is at the same rate that everyone who we're talking about that already has county water.
It's so not county water, it's in.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They have access to water, to drinkable water. They do not get in their vehicle, drive down the road, put water in it, come back, put it in a cistern, no matter what time, the weather or day. But that's what I'm asking. We pay the same tax rate as everybody else, but yet we don't have the same access to things like water. We're right now working so hard to get internet to everyone. There's a lot of different ways that you can get internet out there. Why is that such a push? Why is something like water not more important than internet?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the public? Amy.
Evening, Amy Charles. As the next budget is currently being developed, several of us have been learning more about our county budget. We have concerns about spending that leans more toward wants versus needs. Our budget is not currently able to fund necessary expenditures like infrastructure or an emergency management director. position that was recently deemed extremely important. And this court has itself discussed rising costs and less money funneling in. I'm here proposing that the court reconsider unnecessary spending with tax dollars. Spending towards quality of life must be a part of the fiscal discussion. Excuse me. It is essential to healthy living. It definitely affects how businesses see us if they're looking to relocate here. But finding the balance requires hard decisions, and I ask you to look at every expense and be open to making those hard decisions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else in the public?
I'm not going to take the time my wife did, but I do want to. My name's Roger Hodges. Arnold, we spoke briefly, but I want to go over some of the things, and we're talking about the county water itself. So I grew up in Metcalfe County. We moved up here roughly 3 years ago. We bought the property on Little Dixie. But when I moved into a property that my grandparents owned in Metcalfe County, there was a well, and that was it. When I started running that water, it had a lot of sediment in it. I contacted the county. County come to me and said, no, we can't get water. It was literally a half a mile from me. After discussions, they came in and knowing that it was a county road, come directly in and set the meter in my yard. I had to pay for the meter, but the water rights were there. I think that's what we're looking for, is the help to get that structure, because I had to go back and forth with them probably a month or 6 weeks just to say, oh, because they didn't think that it was their responsibility, but when it was on a county road, they ran it on down to that county road where I was at the end of that road. There's other property lines like that where they went back on a property that my grandmother owned, that there was 2 people on the line, and it was 1.5 miles back to there. Once the water line was there, all my grandmother had to do was pay for the $500 meter fee. That's what I'm used to seeing. I know it's different here. I know there's different things going on, but we're just asking for that help in order to get that infrastructure. Because with me at that house that we used to live in, there wouldn't be any. I mean, we were on a well water that was going into sediments and sulfur. And that's kind of what you run into out there. There's not a method to drill in order to get a well, because you run into where you either don't hit water or it's going to be sulfur. And when you talk with people like we have for drilling, it's not really feasible. You're not going to hit water. You're going to spend $20,000 for a dry hole.
So, all right, thank you. Any other comments? Olivia.
After last month's meeting, there was a comment on Facebook about the Revolutionary War Monument and how it was not a fiscal court matter. And I just want to clarify for the record that I was not asking fiscal court for money. I was asking fiscal court for permission for somewhere to put the monument. Thank you.
And I will say, in your defense, the only thing you asked us for is if we could help set the monument. And I said yes, because our road crew would do something like that, take them just a few minutes. So, yes, that's true. All right, anybody else?
My name's Randy Herod. I live on Little Dixie Highway. I've been there for 20 years now, going on 20 years. I know y'all saying that the water you got nothing to do with, this and that, but nobody in Henry County should be without water. I mean, like I said, I've seen people fighting for this, and it shouldn't be that hard. It's not hard for y'all to come out and raise our taxes. Y'all come do that freely. Okay? They've talked about water.
When have we raised your taxes?
Mine was raised this year.
Huh. That's amazing to me, because we hadn't raised them the whole time I've been on fiscal.
Pull mine out, pull mine out and look at them.
Your value may have went up, but we didn't raise your taxes.
Well, okay. Part of the road department, y'all say road. How many people work for Henry County Road Department? 5 people in Henry County. I called them last year. Our road's so damn bad, you can't even haul water down it. Y'all blacktopped it. The last magistrate said y'all were coming in to blacktop. A little bit on this end, a little bit on that end, a little bit on this end, a little bit on that end, until they got it done. You know how far they went? To my house and stopped. Have you rode down Little Dixie lately?
Yes.
What's it look like?
It's rough.
It's very rough. Last year, I called the department. Hey, man, when are you going to get out and put some rock in these roads? Oh, man, I'm busy. I got 5 people that works for me. I'm like, dude, you can't help how many you got working for you. We need, do we not deserve anything? I mean, that's what's bad about it. I mean, it's like you got to call and ask and beg y'all to do something. Like I said, I've lived on that road for 19 years. And we got a guy that's coming through and probably doing most of y'all's Henry County's work should be doing it. Cleaning the roads out, making the land look pretty, trying to make something of it. And it's horrible that you can't even do it. I've got grandbabies that live there now. My son lives there. I live there. We're still hauling water. It's kind of embarrassing that y'all don't care no more about the people, and then you say, well, it ain't our fault that you ain't got water. But yeah, it is y'all's fault in a way. I mean, we live in Henry County. So.
Thank you. Any other public comments? All right, any court comments? Okay, one thing I do have to say, it is election year, so the signs, if you're a candidate or whatever, please keep your signs off the right of way. The county right of way is 15 feet from the center of the road. The state right of way is 30 feet from the center of the road. So if you got it closer than that, you're on the right of way. Joe Mobley, he called me just day before yesterday and said that no, it would have been Saturday, and said they're starting to get complaints on signs being on the right of way, and they're going to have to start taking them down. And I know signs are expensive, so please make sure you put them. Make sure you get property owners' permission, and make sure you don't put them on the right of way, and that way you won't lose your signs. So anybody that's running for office, that's just a public announcement there. But I would rather not have to take the signs up or have anybody take them up. The state road department will take them up if they're out there, or if they're mowing, they will mow right over top of them too, so you lose your sign. But anyway, just that. Carl?
Just like back up on the court comments, we didn't hear Facebook tonight, but 3 weeks ago on Thursday, Tricia Adams called Brad out on Little Dixie. And he said, well, man, that's not my road. I'll look into it. Thankfully, Steve Williams tagged me to it. So while it was Thursday night, Friday night, I went down and talked to Ron and them, listened, and their concerns more with the water, getting water down there, rightfully so. Saturday morning, I went down on the other end, came through, and I did speak with Damien Prather, and like he said, he's going to work on the road, try to make it better out. So if there's anything we can do to help funds or whatever, I don't know. Maybe this conference we can learn something up there we're going to can maybe touch base, help get water here. They need it.
Yeah, I'd be glad if you find it. You can bet I'll sign anything I need to sign. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I will say, I don't know where the numbers come from, but I talked to Kipta today, and we're just a little bit over 98% on city water to every home. I know you said it was 90, but they're saying 98. So I don't know whose numbers is right or wrong, but that's what they're saying. Just barely over. It ain't 99, but it's 98 point something %. All right. Anybody else got anything to say? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All right, motion by Danny, second by Carl. All in favor? All right, thank you all.